Thank you. It's good to see you guys. It's good to be on here today. The team has, it's been a little uncharacteristic in some ways. We're not leading the conference in scoring for the first time in 10 years, and we're not leading the conference in rebounding, certainly not in wins, but I'm very excited about this team. I don't think our statistics and our record is necessarily indicative of certainly the improvement we've made, which it kind of shows in the last game. We just beat Middle Tennessee, which was the top 50 team. But, you know, we've been struggling and getting stronger. So we started out the year a little discombobulated because we didn't have our point guard, our should be a 5-year starter, Jasmine Robinson. And we actually had to move our only freshman up to the point guard position. And she's never, I don't think, played that before. So we started out a little bit discombobulated in that way. But again, we just look at it as opportunity to get other people stronger and the team stronger. And we by no means think we've arrived and we're as good as we're going to be, but we're definitely have shown a lot of improvement and we're excited. I do believe the SunBelt Conference is as strong as it's ever been. Hats off to Coastal Carolina for going undefeated in the pre-conference, because you know that's hard no matter what. That's not an easy thing to do, and so they're making the SunBelt Conference look strong in that way. Hats off to some of the other teams that had huge wins. Texas, Arlington, they didn't play an easy schedule, but they've come up with some big wins, and that's not the only team. But you know, I'm just excited about conference play coming up. I think we've all in the SunBelt not only played tougher schedules this year, but come out looking pretty good from it in many ways.
Talking about your schedule specifically, you know, you played a really tough schedule. You beat Middle Tennessee State. You're right there with Missouri. You go to Duke. Kind of what went into your scheduling decisions, and how do you think it'll pay off for you?
Two things. First of all, just trying to get our net score better. If we were to get to be blessed and get the opportunity to get back in NCAA tournament, we would really like a better seed. And the performance we had and the exposure we got at the Texas A&M game at the end of last year, and not only that, but we've gotten 3 bids to the tournament in the last few years. So we feel like now we are on people's radar. If we could just do a due diligence and play a tough schedule and get a few of those tough wins, we feel like we could get a better seed if we're able to get back. So that was, first of all, that was the first thought in that. And then the next thought is, this, if we could make it back, it is our 4th time to represent the SunBelt Conference since I've been here in 10 years in the NCAA tournament. And we get there, we don't want to be just glad to get there. And, you know, if you haven't played teams on that level, that's really sometimes all you can hope for, because we're going to bring the energy every time. We bring the energy, we try as hard as we can, but sometimes we're lacking that Power 5 experience. So we don't ever want to go into that situation again. If we can get back, we want to be expecting to win and knowing how to win at that level.
Talk about Karanga's play, averaging a double-double, and what she's meant to your team this season.
Well, she just graduated a couple of days ago. We're very proud of that. Most of y'all know she's the first Kenyan to come on a basketball scholarship. And so she's a first in a lot of things. But her word that she chose for the year is consistency. And I'm very glad, because she says she feels like she can be consistent in giving this team double doubles. Now it's gotten a little hard because when we were struggling with other people scoring, we had her double team and she was triple team. So that was kind of hard to keep getting her numbers scoring, but she's, you know, maneuvered and found ways to get her teammates involved. And she has kind of broken out and been pretty consistent with double doubles. And so anytime you have one of your best players or your best player being your most consistent player, any coach would covet that.
You talked about her being the first Kenyan player in the United States. Talk about, you know, the recruiting process and how she came to Troy.
She played at Tyler Junior College in Texas. She was a good player there. And so we didn't directly recruit her from her home country, but she was already here for 2 years and doing great and acclimated to, you know, to America and the language and everything. And so actually we're very fortunate we got her at her best from Trina Tillis-Hord, who's a coach there at Tyler. And she was able to settle in and relax and not have a year of transition really, but just settle and relax and make her goals and start working towards them immediately.
You mentioned kind of your thoughts on the state of SunBelt women's basketball. What most excites you about starting conference play here in just a few weeks?
Well, I feel like, in a way, I feel like I'm an underdog, and it's been a minute kind of since it might not sound right because we were picked to be number one, but if you look at preseason play, I mean, pre-conference play, you know, I like to think of myself as an underdog again, because that's how I came into the Sun Belt Conference 10 years ago, as the vast underdog, the last team in the conference, and we fought our way and saw the most improvement in those years. I learned way more from years that you might go 2-8 in pre-conference than I've ever done going 10-0, you know. So I'm back in that situation, or at least I've got that mindset of an underdog. I'm trying to project that onto my team. And so I think we needed that. I think we need nobody needs to be riding high on the fence on some name that somebody voted you all conference, or what you did last year. We don't want that. We're rejecting that. We're pushing that away, and we want to feel like we're clawing our way from the bottom.
If you have a question for Coach Rigby, a reminder to put that in the chat. Coach, your thoughts on Pensacola as the home of the Sun Belt tournament and the environment it creates?
I can't say enough about Pensacola and how excited we are to have the tournament there again. I can't imagine any conference not wanting, if they knew the jewels that are there in Pensacola, I can't imagine any conference not wanting to host their conference tournament there. The people are outstanding. They're extremely professional. The venue is nice. It's a nice venue. It's also, at the time, people were wanting to take spring break vacations, and what more beautiful place so you can get your fans there. Maybe not so much last year when the bridge was out after COVID, but now, you know, it should be in full force. I cannot imagine a better venue and a better championship atmosphere than Pensacola.